COVID-19 has ushered in a new virtual age for businesses and consumers alike. The pandemic has profoundly altered the way we do business, and some of these behavioral changes are here to stay, guys. If businesses don't prepare for this new digital reality and learn how to virtually stand out from the crowd, we are at risk of losing valuable revenue and valuable clients. As this pandemic was in its preliminary stages, the Feddersen formula began to do extensive statistical analysis and research to determine which skills impact virtual presence and charisma the most. We are so excited to be sharing these incredible findings with you all. In this video today, I will cover the top 4 skills to enhance your virtual presence and charisma. Let's get started. About a week ago, I got a DM from a former client. We will call her Pam. In the message she wrote, "Stuart, thanks again for presenting to us at our AAPC conference. As you know, back in March, we transitioned to a virtual office environment due to COVID. It's such a bummer because COVID hit just a couple weeks after your seminar, and so I didn't get a whole lot of time to apply the skills you taught. I can't wait to get back into the office so I can start applying your formula in person." I responded to Pam and wrote, "Don't let the virtual environment hold you back from fulfilling your social presence potential. In our virtual world, the speaking skills you learned are that much more important to apply. The virtual environment is challenging our ability to connect human to human. Therefore, the need for exceptional speakers and communicators has increased substantially with us being in this virtual environment. Public speaking skills are virtual speaking skills, and virtual speaking skills are public speaking skills. With the exception of where they are being employed, either in our home office or in the conference room, the application of these skills are the same and will still give you the upper hand and a substantial edge in your personal and professional life. The need for strong speakers is much greater now in the virtual environment than it ever was in an in-person environment." In March of 2020, as the COVID-19 pandemic was in its preliminary stages in the US, I was working for Duke University Health. I remember the day when we all received the announcement that we were now required to work from home until further notice. Of course, this was a shock to me because I was unsure how I was going to lead my team virtually. Would they still be engaged? Would they still feel like they are contributing to Duke's mission? How would I help them feel part of the team in a virtual environment? On top of that, how is this new virtual norm going to affect the Feddersen formula and all of my in-person clients? I mean, I had a huge toolkit of social and public speaking skills at my disposal that I was using on a day-to-day basis in an in-person setting. What was I going to do? I dove into my curriculum and formulated for some ideas. As I was reviewing my formula, I came to the conclusion that all of my skills found in my curriculum could be integrated virtually and are just as relevant, if not more relevant, to apply in the virtual world, okay? Allow me to explain. We have an innate human need to connect with human beings. My formula was designed to fulfill that need and more. With the business world going more virtual now, that basic human need to connect can be a challenge. Therefore, to gain the upper hand and stand out to our stakeholders, coworkers, and customers, we need to learn how to connect human to human in a virtual world. You with me? I got to work. I started by drafting a survey in which I listed all of my skills in my curriculum. I then sent this out to my network of about 500 constituents and clients. Each participant was asked to rank each public speaking skill on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the skill had little impact on virtual presence and 10 being the skill that had a large impact on virtual presence. After collecting the survey results for about 2 weeks, it was time to start my favorite part. Brace yourself here, guys, because I'm about to go full-on nerd here. Using regression and correlation analysis, I determined the top 4 skills that had the largest impact on presence and charisma. The results were so awesome. Let's start with a little statistics lesson first. I'll be referring to a term called R-squared. R-squared is a formula to determine how much independent variables, the skills in my curriculum, impact the dependent variables, the virtual presence. The higher the R-squared, the larger the impact. The lower the R-squared, the lower the impact. You with me? So I performed the R² formula on all of the skills and pulled the top 4. Let's start with the skill that came out with the 4th largest impact, or the 4th largest R². Virtual eye contact came in at number 4. Virtual eye contact? Wait. People thought that eye contact was associated with a strong virtual presence. I was confused, so I reached out to a few of my clients with some follow-up questions to gain further clarification. They mentioned how difficult a virtual call can be because most folks don't have their camera on, and so the facilitator has no idea how engaged people actually are. And if their cameras were on, they couldn't see the others because of bad lighting, or the person was looking at their other computer screens, multitasking, or fixing their hair to see themselves on screen, okay? A study done by High Five and Zogby Analytics found that 59% of adults reported feeling more self-conscious on camera versus in person. This can lead to spending too much time looking at your image in a video call, a term I call selfie mode. Therefore, my first piece of advice is to maintain eye contact with those in the meeting by actually looking at your camera when speaking, while glancing at others on the call every now and again to make sure they are still engaged. My second piece of advice is to do this to your camera. You can see that I place some of my favorite people on my camera to remind me to maintain eye contact. So Will Smith is looking at me and saying, "Maintain eye contact, Stuart. Look at me." The skill that had the 3rd largest impact on virtual presence was virtual audience engagement. After discussing this with some of my clients, it was determined that virtual audience engagement is a blanket form for how interested your audience is in your virtual content and how much they take part in your virtual content as well. So your main objective here, guys, is to make your virtual content so awesome that the attendees cannot multitask. Some of my recommendations to hold the audience's attention are: 1, ask thought-provoking questions; 2, use video; 3, use the chat; and 4, use polling features. I suggest doing that about every 15 minutes or so. The skill that came in at the 2nd largest impact on virtual presence was strong virtual body language. Again, remember the cart before the horse here. In order to exhibit and observe body language, the cameras have to be on. So make it a ground rule for all of your virtual engagements. The cameras stay on to maintain strong eye presence and virtual content. It's a well-known fact that 55% of our communication is done through our body language. So if we are not able to see the others in the meeting, then per that percentage, we are losing out on 55% of our communication. A few tips I give my clients here are: if you want to stand out in a virtual call, stand up. Stand up out of your chair so you can own more space and establish strong presence. Also make that spine long and strong for strong posture and reach. Reach out using your hands gestures such as open palms, and the object lesson, which is using your hands to show emphasis while talking. For example, you probably notice when I say the number 1, 2, 3 in my videos, that's the object lesson. The number 1 skill that had the largest impact on virtual presence was individuality. Individuality is a key component in my formula, and so when I saw this one fall into the number 1 spot, I can't say I was not surprised. I was so happy. Individuality in my formula is the overall character and authenticity of a speaker that distinguishes him or her from the other speakers. Okay? A speaker's authentic self can be made apparent through declarations of belief, original ideas, personal stories, and unique experiences. So be sure to use all of those. Here are some additional recommendations I give clients to bring out your virtual individuality. 1, bust down the corporate conformity and have some fun. 2, crack jokes in the audience's favor. 3, share stories. And 4, be creative and think outside the virtual box. Okay? All right, so let's recap the top 4 skills that have the greatest impact on establishing a strong virtual presence. Okay? 1, individuality. 2, virtual body language. 3, virtual audience engagement. And 4, virtual eye contact. Again, I can't stress the urgency of these skills enough. If we do not jump on the virtual presence bandwagon, guys, and apply these virtual speaking skills, we are at risk of not being able to connect human to human. If we are not connecting human to human, we are at risk of not fulfilling that basic human need. If we are not fulfilling a basic human need, we are at risk of losing clients, customers, employees, and therefore operating revenue. Okay? Remember, this is just the tip of the virtual presence iceberg. I have a whole workshop that dives deeper into my statistical research, so please visit our website, fill out the form, and let's get started. I have both in-person and virtual workshop options to choose from. Also, if you enjoyed this and want to see more videos, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and also that red subscribe button for more social presence and public speaking tips. Go on. I know you're thinking about it. Scroll down to that subscribe button and go ahead. It's red and it has the word subscribe on it, and hit it. Good job. And as always, remember to stand up, stand out, inspire, and transform. Thanks for watching, guys. Do you want to accelerate your career, gain an edge in your personal and professional life, and fulfill your potential? The Feddersen Formula offers virtual seminars, one-on-one and group seminars to do just that and more. Visit the Feddersen Formula at www.feddersenpublicspeaking.com for more information. Whoops. Okay. The number one skill that had the largest impact on virtual presence was, drumroll please,